Right, the reason being, I've learnt there's people are starting to focus now what algorithms are doing, and a spike at the beginning of a clip apparently is what they look for. That keeps you in the suggested list for a bit longer. So
Audio spike.
apparently so. So I just picked some regular stuff. Anything less than a few seconds, you're not doing copyright. I signed up to Google Play to see what the algorithm was doing. I mean, this is all part of our dev. It was just a small thing. In any case, right. What I'm trying to do is do a live stream on my tablet. Share live stream. There we go. Share it with you. Lost Turner. Chris Vortex. There we go. So that should hopefully pop up. How many monitors do you have?
2.
Fantastic.
Did you send that on? Oh, yes, Google.
Yeah, from Loz to Google. So we're on a video chat. You're talking through Bridget, who's my made-up digital assistant, who in time, she should grow with us. And the backstory behind that is the landlord I live with. He calls all of his digital assistants ladies' names. So Google's Bridget, Cortana is, I think, Katrina, and he's got all these names. And he reminded me of... and he says different things to him, like he says, "Oh, good morning," and she says, "Good morning" back, and he's like, "Oh, thank you, Bridget, you saucy devil," and all that kind of stuff. And very old hat. But it reminded me of Charlie's Angels. You know, when the radio comes on, like a reverse version, the radio goes, "Good morning, Angels." It's, "Good morning, Charlie." So I thought, oh, it's Ken's Girls rather than Charlie's Angels. And out of that, I surmised a segment of what we could do for our company culture. And it's a way of getting, bridging the gap for allowing assistants in our lives. If we give them names, if we child rear them, if we give them control, it gives the everyday person a sense of control over this autonomous AI that's supposed to kill us. It's something else I wanted to talk to you about in a different capacity, but there we go. So yeah, Bridget knows. She has her own email account, her own phone, her own number. She does a little bit of automation. Hopefully with you, we'll get her to build some AI modelling so she can do some tactile feedback. I'd like her to do also enter in some data into...
So this message you got earlier on, is that generated by the bot?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, half and half. Half me, half her.
Should I try and say something to it then? See what happens.
At the moment, she has the autoresponder switched off when I'm streaming. But yeah, when we're not streaming, you can talk to her. She's really basic. I made it's running off of a PHP on my server. So it's only got about 6 intents. There's nothing else to it, and then anything else it doesn't know, it just dumps out to Google search. But yeah, it's all work in progress, unfortunately. Anyway, hopefully you can see my phone stream.
Yeah, I've got it up. It's just black at the minute.
Yeah, because I'm logging in. Okay, so I don't know, Samsung Notes. Just anything I can draw in.
I can hear. I think I'm behind on it actually. There we go. Yeah, no.
I think there's about.
It was like 10 seconds before.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, I can put it.
So yeah, today essentially.
I want to mute the volume.
Oh yeah, one of us. Of course, because you're going to see it through my phone as well. Yeah, my phone's got a mic on it, and I've got no way of numbing that.
I'm still got the stream up now. So I can't. It's not so clear. The text.
Yeah, because it's unfortunately a YouTube stream, so it's. We're not there yet. I haven't got my app, so to speak. But once I have, this thing that we're doing now during meeting time will become a lot easier. So essentially, I imagine that each one of the devices in the room is like an agent, as if we were having a meeting with 6 people. So Bridget's doing the phone call. Hello. She's doing the eyes. We can see everything. You've got Dave over in the corner, just per se. He's sitting there taking the notes or minutes, reference, whatever. I've got my laptop over in the corner, or to do as best I can, hopefully to show you the 3D. And it makes it really simple for like hooking people in, because you know how to use Hangouts. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just joining people and uninviting them as whatever suits, because I know that your screen's recording it. Now, the reason I'm making such a big deal about this is because these cameras, these perceptions that I'm trying to depict, are what I'd like to get across in the 3D environment.
Yeah.
If we have them predetermined, like a kid doesn't ask twice about riding a bike. Gets straight on it, knows what to do. That's the kind of ease of use, intuitiveness that we're going to try and employ. Very.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on ways to improve that with the Unreal Engine thing, because some of the controls I don't think are intuitive enough. Some of it, I did quite a lot more on it actually last night.
I did look at the video. Yeah, I thought it was quite sweet.
Mostly cosmetic things, but I have been working a lot on the blueprints, trying to get them to work better, and also just get some of the functionality working properly.
Yeah, I mean, you're working very much on the physical sense.
The core mechanics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're working very much on the physical aspect at the moment, aren't you? So when we first started, you're looking at how to connect and make objects, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just want to kind of get that first prototype Unreal application built, and then we've got proof of concept.
Well, we've also got the other feature as well, where you can walk through doors, so that allows you to be in one plane.
Yeah, and then just like expanding on that whole idea of having a mind palace or mental space which you can explore in a virtual space, virtualization of cognitive structures, I guess, of the mind, or trying to look at how.
Well, but this is the bit we're trying to get to. We're getting very showy. So this is what we're actually touching on here. We're both hovering around, trying to show each other how much we can interpret, how well we can do it. We both now need to be Erin Bryn and the other guy from Google. We've already identified the partnership and the direction. And now we're out to the Dragon's Den, or out to the audience, and we're unified in our speech. So we're simply saying we are making a software. Yeah, that's one object in the center. I'm not sure if you can see the screen.
I just put it off a second because it went off a second.
That's all right.
Oh, it's gone off. Oh, no, it's on again.
So the first feature that we have, I always draw it in this sense. You always start in the center with I. And the reason I do that is because that's how people think. They put themselves in the situation. Humans are very central.
Yeah. So, well, it's not self-centered in an arrogant way, but your first primary concern is yourself. Yeah.
Exactly right. So
in terms of like even just survival or whatever, it's just being a living being.
So a best way of saying that is a simple sentence. The way I used to look at it as a child, and again I'm using my autism diagnosis here, is where are the eyes? Where are the eyes looking? Outwards, exactly. So that's all I worry about is every single time when you're trying to identify what a customer wants, just look in what direction their eyes are looking, and that can be metaphorical as well, not just like where they're looking, but like where's their direction going, and that's pretty much. Well, and just to solidify this abstract analogy for technology, that's what Steve Jobs did with the one button. He watched, he looked where the eyes of the children were going, or where the brain of the child was going, and it went through their arms, out through their fingertip, and that's why it has one button. So we are literally...
It's easier than ever to do that kind of thing now as well.
Exactly. I want to be the company that comes up and has... Where he's managed to work it out in tech and in marketing, there's a formula underneath somewhere. It's hijacking some intuitive neuro feedback loop that we already use, but we just haven't highlighted it yet. You know, we're quite happy to talk about behavioural manipulation in marketing. We're quite happy to talk about self-help and self-motivation and self-mentoring in business.
You could do something really evil, like hijack the flight or fight response.
Well, there are. Let's just get that on there. So the drawings here, that is already in existence. So let's put that little out here. So that's all talked about biohacking.
That's like my alter ego, evil scientist talking.
Your shadow. The thing is, what's interesting. What is interesting is that they are actually having a relook at this under biohacking. And they actually suppose, especially for people like me with ADHD, that if you run a 9-volt battery over the prefrontal cortex, which is this part of the brain...
Does not sound like a good idea at all.
Well, the thing, again, because it was done in the American... whenever, back in the 50s, and everyone is a scaremonger about it. But yeah, essentially, if you apply a voltage to that part of the brain, a very small one, obviously, it actually changes the neuro pathways. There's more and more research being done into it. Probably not ours, but my kids' generation, there will be a new type of brain technology. And there will be this biohacking and interception. We're already doing the same thing with drugs, but we're getting off topic for the company. The point is, we're trying to just employ something simple. So the pen, you know what to do with it. The screen, you know now to touch it. LRIO, I still don't know how to identify the logo, but when I said it, all they are representative of each.
Well, left, right. I mean, it may be like
exactly
something that's a representation of. What else? Maybe I immediately almost think of like the yin yang kind of shape.
Excellent, I like that. Yeah.
That's the first thing. Not literally that, but like something like that, where it's very simple, black and white, and has elements of black and white in both sides of it.
Well, if you could somehow mix the yin and yang graphically with the sides of the hemispheres of the brain, so perhaps like it comes around in like a hook, but somehow looks like a brain at the end, or I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely elements there.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, just something like quite hard line, simple, with those kind of.
Well, I was thinking about your text base. So if you put them all in the center like this, LRIO, and you just on the front page of a website had it completely white, you literally just did the arrows. It's left, right, and then input, output, and then some sort of animation. Obviously, this would be a lot more. The font would look a lot greater, but the direction of the text. Have you got any thoughts on the I/O? Because I always look at it like that. I always think of input output because I'm a computer developer, and I think half of that is what we want to try and get across. That everything can be broken down. Everything can be a process.
I need to just think of 0 1s, or.
Yeah, binary. I do the same thing, like the screensaver type thing where it falls down behind you, like a Matrix type effect.
Yeah. That's a bit harder to conceptualize, really.
Yeah, it is more difficult. I was thinking more like.
Without getting really complicated.
Well, things like this. Another one, if you go to some I/O runs across all industries. So if me and you are techie and Cody, computer guys use a computer chip. So you'd have the SMC chip in the center with the pin legs coming off of it either side, and then you'd have the data coming in. So it would come in and do its job, calculate like a true computer, and then come out. So some sort of I/O in that direction, or however you want to represent it. But the idea of it going into a processor, and I quite like that, because in a virtual world, if we could get our logo later on, like a Pixar animation, they'd click our logo.
Well, I mean, if in the first instance, if I just work on a few, because I'm alright, I've done a few graphic design logo things before. If I just start prototyping some stuff out and then plonk it in the world as well, the Unreal Engine.
Yep.
That'd be a start, I suppose. Just do a few different designs, plonk it in somewhere as a graphic. That'd be good, I think.
So I'm going to go back to the top in a minute. We've got the two components of the logo, which is the LR and the I/O. We've had a little discussion about them separately. Now we need to give them their words and their meaning, and this is where you kind of take over, because I'm very good at drawing. I suck at the other part of it. So the front page of our website, this is the bit I need help with. So the front page, someone's going to hit a button, click, and for the time being, I don't know if it's going to be an animation or whatever, but window, somewhere in the middle, they've got a little graphic, and then a block of text, completely white, like the Matrix construct level.
Yeah.
Maybe with some like hint of 3D in the background somehow, like off-white.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. But what wording could I put in this passage? Something that and it's aimed particularly for, at this moment in time, personal people, so we can speak and then it kind of has like an area that goes off to business, so a bit more professional. I don't know if that changes the literature at all. But if I can have, that's what I need help with.
Yeah, like condensing it all into a kind of mission statement.
Yeah, so I can throw words at you all day long. I'm very good at these types of chats. I listen back to them in horror because I often overtalk and I let my words get away with me. But you listen to someone like Peterson or anyone on a news article, they've got it pinned down. Now, me and you have got the ability to come up with good vocabulary. We've got philosophical meaning, and we can go and Google anything at any time. So I don't know whether you want to do this at slow pace online or whether you want to go away and think about it. But it's going to be one of those awful stages of making a company we have to hit often, every week for about the month, for this month. It's why we don't get our essays done. It's the same part of the brain.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm quite happy with you now to share. Do you want to? I don't know if you want to use Google Drawings. Have you ever used that before?
No, but I'm sure I can do it all right. There's Google Drawings. It's just on the Google Maps.
Well, if you just go to draw. Hang on. Drawing.google.com/create.
Quick draw.
Click that.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, it has to be draw. Take it back to draw, not drawing. My mistake.
Is it quick draw?
Hang on. No, it's definitely Google.
Okay, it's not. I've put in draw.google.com/create.
Oh no, my mistake. I'm a complete idiot. Slide. Slides.google.com/create.
Slides.google.com/create. Oh no, it's working now.
Yeah, my mistake. Sorry about that. They do have a drawing app, but essentially the drawing app is the same as a presentation app, but you can only have one page. So yeah, what I basically do, because it's on the cloud and it's lightweight, again, because we've got no software, if you go to page setup in file, go to custom, and then change the units to pixels. And then increase it to standard 1080p for the time being, so 1080 by 1920 by 1080.
920 maybe.
Yeah, and then if you can use Alt and Control, and then the zoom functions work as they would do in the browser. You can just zoom in and out, and it's high res, so you can zoom right in. There's no lag or performance loss at all. There's two random maximize buttons at the top, one for magnify and one for fit all. If you just delete...
Where's the pink button?
For drawing objects is the circle in the square. But we basically won't be using that. Oh, yeah. This is just a shared space that we and you can collaborate on. So if you now go to the right-hand corner and share me, or I'll share you or share me, it makes no difference. Yeah, share me, and then give it a name, a single word that you like. Call it intro if you want.
Yeah, I've got intro.
Can you tell me how to spell that?
INDRA.
Okay. So you can add lozturner@gmail.com. And your word again, INDRA.
INDRA, yeah. Okay, send that link.
Fantastic. When I go back to my drive. So yeah, this is the best I can come up with, and it's pretty good, but not as good as the real thing, as doing mock-up online, like while we're sharing it.
Yeah.
So, if I go share with me...
Well, I'm not used to Key Cross Collaborate, so we were working on the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You'll be able to see my character in a minute once it pops up.
Ah, cool.
And then the next one...
I'm not used to slides like with another person before.
Oh, it does get quite technical. So give me 2 seconds. Intra. Well. In fact, I might actually think we use this more often because I'm already starting to see that this has got more interactive aspects to it than anything we've done so far.
Yeah.
I really want to start because obviously I said to you there's going to be lots of stuff we don't like to do, but we're techies. We can work through it. We just got to push each other. Right, save that. Okay, so I've now made... So this is how my company works. So I want an ultimatum script for this. I'm basically my puppet, and I'm the puppeteer. I'm imagining one day someone like you or my brother or some fucker's going to help me with my dyslexia and help me write all of the scripts that I do without any errors. But in the meantime, I'm acting as that guy. So that's the latency. I apologise. But so from now on, you just made a document, correct? At the beginning of a meeting. That would now become normal behaviour. Yeah? And so we don't have to... I'm sick and tired of saving files. How many times have you been in a group meeting with university and you all go, did you bring the meeting minutes? And everyone's like, fuck, right? And they go, no, I saved it in that folder or it's in that place. That's the big, right? That's the beginnings of the memory palace. It's going to be so great when you get me in this VR because all of the stuff that I'm trying to explain to you linearly, when me and you finally get in that 3D environment of yours and we're walking around it and we're talking about it, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about will become obvious. That was the whole bloody point. Literally, I've dreamt about this my whole bloody life, I think, in one form or another. So yeah, basically, the way around it is to give namesakes. So you always remember, you might forget your mum's birthday, but that girl you really loved, you'd always remember one specific moment, you know, the time, the date, the smells, the colour, it just happens. So you came up with the word. What's your word you've come up for the project?
Intranet.
And what's the company that we've decided to start? No, the hub. It's not really the company. The hub name. What have we decided to call the domain?
Was the one we talked about yesterday? Novelty machine.
Oh yeah, no, that is what we're going to call the app. That's what I thought you might like that. But as far as the LRIO is us. It's encompassing everything we're doing. So the domain now is intra.lrio.uk. If you type that in the browser, that should take you to the document. Now that was over the top. I didn't want to over-explain it, but if it works this time, I want to use your brain and your storytelling and your knowledge of like mythology and all that stuff to start coming up with more namesakes. It'll be indra.lrio.uk. So trying to follow simple naming conventions, one syllable where possible. So that helps. I learnt this with my condition. It helps me to do that now rather than after the call. And then you never have to remember it again. It stays in the internet forever. And that's kind of one of the concepts I want to get across in our software. Nonetheless. So yeah, it's ugly when it looks like a Google PowerPoint. But if you go back to the drawing, if you minimise all of the UI menus, it kind of looks like a design app. If you ever, you know. That's fine. So yeah. I
can't see anything you've done on it yet. I can't see anything.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. So let's do. So let's.
I'll try refreshing it, but it's not.
Can you see the word test?
Yes.
Right, so there might be a little bit of lag here. Okay, so if let's start mapping out what an average website would look like. You've got the browser at the top. Let's take that off. With a little window in the corner. Copy 2 of those.
Okay, yeah, no, I see it. It's in real time now. This wasn't working very well before.
So then you go on your back button or whatever it's called. I mean, feel free to edit this at the time. I'm trying to fly through. So there's the top of your browser with the window thing, and we can add a www.lrio.uk in there.
Yeah. Just the browser screen.
Then the page down the side, something like just a clear box, I'd imagine. Something like this. Okay, so yeah, a text box I think in the beginning with some sort of lipsom text text block. Copy that. So this is what I need your help writing. So that's why I wanted to get to this point. So maybe that would help us be faster. I'm not sure. In any case, there's a bunch of text. First paragraph into LRIO. I'd imagine there'd be some sort of big thingy at the top, and we'll get into the styling. Google does some pretty nice fonts as well. I don't know where you want to go for at the moment. Something traditional. I don't even know if it would be LRIO because it kind of loses its meaning outside the domain. You need to really write it in full. And then, because I always see these other fuckers doing this, it's some sort of graphic. They put, I don't know if we can insert an image. I don't know, so like a mind eye GIF. Images, tools, type, animation. Do you use the advanced search tools on Google Images?
Very rarely.
I don't do, so copy something like that, copy something like that.
Just messed around with it.
Yeah, I don't know how to make the text automatically adjust or wrap because it's not a word processor, but you get the idea. If I just copy paste. Let's oh, you fuck nugget, what are you doing?
It's probably for site standards. I'm just thinking, well, I mean, we're going to have to figure out really...
It's really more important that we get the language correct. This is the whole thing. Like Apple's got a culture. Everyone, we reverse engineering basically because in order.
We'll have to figure out we really define all this, the site's central purpose, I suppose.
Well, that's why I wanted to make the room so what we could come up with. So the front page could connect to. At the moment, the front page has no ugly as fuck. Is obviously I've not done anything, but it is the directory. It kind of looks like a story. If you go to LRIO. The ones you're interested in are site, story, and development. So development is something that me and you would dump all our rubbish in. Oh, you can't see my screen, can you? Can we invite? Who am I logged in as? Laura.
I need to get access to this LRIO site so I can upload all the Unreal stuff.
Right, yeah, so I'll show you what's going on with that. Right, so invite.
So if we just start FCP and all those files, and then we've got a lot of backup then, and then also... You can download stuff eventually and play around with it as well. Yeah,
give me literally 2 seconds. I'll explain to you exactly what's going on with the server. Yep, done.
Yeah, well, obviously you can
oh shit.
Send the data to Gmail.
Okay, he's in. Is he in? Right, he's in. Shut the fuck up. No! No, shh.
That's
Oh yeah, right. That should be gone now. Is it gone? Oh, where's my face coming from? I look ugly. Oh wow. Okay, right. I've got my laptop in front of me. Okay, right. So yes, good. He's on the thing, and I want to share my screen. How do I do that on this phone? Yep.
Oh my god, it's 4 o'clock.
Okay, so can you see my laptop screen now?
It's just on your stream. I can see.
Yep, I've got, yeah.
Stream, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you've still got me because I've got the other laptop. So Loz is my laptop. I'm Bridget. Yeah. So the point is, at the moment, LRIO, obviously it hasn't got the links. Because I don't want to spend my life, you know what web development's like, you make your structure, then you have to go and code every single link in every single page until you use Bootstrap and stuff. Well, until I get around that, what I've got, here's my server, so here's how I get into my server.
I can't see you. I can't see what's with the laptop. Oh, there you go. No, I've got it.
You got it? Yeah, so that's the LRIO front page. Obviously, so the way I get that page up at the moment is I'm utilising an automatic script. So I have my server. I can't give you a login to it yet because it's my brother's server. He's tied it all up.
Should I show this? Oh, that's alright, I see.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Just edit out the IP address. The point is, so anyway, I've got a section of the server. We're running IIS, which is different to most people. They run Apache. Obviously, he's doing tills and stuff. So this is IIS. I don't know.
Switch it off.
Sorry?
It's still a control panel for IIS, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Like everyone cringes at IIS, but there's honestly it's better than Apache. But yeah, exactly 70% of our SMEs use it, which is why we've gone to learn about it. In any case, right? So we ran out of money. I told you about that, and that's where we met. We've got to take this down and do another one, and that's the one where I want to buy in and get one with you, to be honest. But we had somewhere to back up, and if you look here, I've got 100 gig on the Turner Works account. It's been syncing now for 6 days to take 22 gig. So I made you a new folder, and this is why I do it. So, like for example, if I go to LRIO,
I tried. There's that Google Drive link, isn't it? And I tried uploading Unreal Engine files, which were equivalent to about 5 gig, and it just wasn't happening. It says too big.
Yeah, Google Drive doesn't like big files. It's a pain in the arse. I have had to use drive spanning, where you split everything up across like several RAR files. But I think we're just going to have to buy something else. Like I've got OneDrive, I've got Dropbox. I'm paying for Google at the minute just because. And I think, yeah, the other way is to use Mega Cloud. I don't know yet. We need to find a solution. I did think about uploading to this.
I'd usually use WeTransfer, the files are too big for that.
But basically, I can't use this server because there's only 20 gig free left on it, and that's the lead drive.
If you can get me the FTP details for it, I can just connect it.
Well, that's the next thing I need to ask my brother about, and that's the bit I was going to show you. We've got something called... we've got a one-on-one firewall, and the port number for FTP 21 and 22 at the minute is blocked, and I don't know why. We have got 443 unlocked and something 3280, which is remote desktop. So the only way I can access the folder is through that Google Drive. So, like for example, see here, it's got A-frame. All I have to do, if I go into the server and look at the same direction, the same file directory, sorry, file explore. Yeah, no, that's fine. And when you delete the folder, so this is why most web development you have to upload and download. See, look here, I'm dealing with it live. When I delete the folder, A-frame, see, that's gone. If I go back to the website and refresh it, see, it's disappeared. So the reason I kept that structure is so we can keep building it. And here's the next part. So the next part is I have all these Google accounts. When it loads, all these Google accounts. This one runs the server. 2 seconds. Come on. I think it's because it's its first big sync. I think we'll be alright once it's done its first big sync. But anyway, yeah. So if you see here in Google Drive, that looks exactly the same folder structure as my server. So if I go Drive here, see? So in here I go Domains, in here I go LOS, and then I've got LRIO. And then we go into Site, and you can see all these folders, which is exactly the same as...
Yeah, Site.
Yeah, Site. And there it is. So basically, every time we do a little project, or every time we do like an app, or every time we have a new client, or every little thing, yeah, we just do these, and eventually they'll become their own subdomains. So you won't even have to navigate. We can just go to them. So the front page really is not about the way it looks at the minute. The theme will come later. All right, me and you will spend a day. We'll go and look through websites. We'll have a real discussion. Let's not try and force ourselves to be creative when that's not the most pressing thing. So this was just because of the words. something that says, I'm telling you, mate, like, I'm 28 years old and I've managed to convince you to get on board. But my writing ability is that of an 8-year-old. I literally, in 45 grand, I lost my degree. I can't fight for myself legally. Parking tickets, bailiffs, you name it, they're coming through the door. Whether it's learning difficulties, bipolar, or because I'm fucking ginger and stupid, I don't know. But I'm not joking when I dance around. I need you to, I don't know, get it started. And if you need me to change it afterwards, I'm very good at that. I just don't. I know I need a website. I know I need graphics. But it all comes down to words. That's the bit that makes people hand over the cash. I can rebuild computers. I could have £1 million in my bank. So that's, yeah, LRIO. Maybe talking about what left-right represents to begin with. And maybe we find that the name is not ideal. What we... Who,
you wrote a paper on this?
Sorry?
You say you wrote a paper on this?
I wrote a paper on 3 separate things that I wanted my final paper to be on. So gamification, neurology, and reward loops. You know, pattern behaviour, and specifically before the media popularised VR and augmented reality. I was talking about the relationship of technology assistive software and hardware for learning difficulties. Now that's gone out the water. You know, 4 years ago, I got given a Mac and I got given a 700-piece pound of software for Dragon. It's now built into Google.
Yeah.
So it's really relevant to pluck that out. I don't want to dance over that. That very bit, we lived through it. Me and you watched it happen. We were like 2 hookers in a fucking thing in Amsterdam, and we just watched the tourists go past. We knew it. We said about it. And what I'm trying to get across on a philosophical level with this company, and it won't come across in our literature, it won't come across with the business, but it'll come across in our community, is that we did hear it, we did see it, we're now calling it to action. Because a lot of men and a lot of small-minded businesses are basically thinking that they're making lots of choices, thinking that they're, you know, motivated and self-help and they're reforming and they're innovating. And the truth is, they're not getting anywhere because there's only ever been a percentage that can win. You know, everybody having this winning mentality is not going to guarantee a win. But it's not changed anything. Capitalism steams on. So what our software is going to do is help break down people's mind and concepts. And then what I'm trying to tell you, Chris, is in a year's time when we've got money, we buy developers and then we do the actual legwork. And what we did for the customer in our software, we will do for our business in data-driven software. Yeah? So first off, we start walking a customer through what they think they want, then how they can achieve it and how easy it is to let us show them. And in a year's time, the same software will walk us through and say, hey, did you know that this area of the business is poor? Or, hey, you need to invest in this area or give more knowledge. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, you know that part anyway. I really wish you were here. We could go for a joint. You need to edit that out.
Yeah, well,
right, so other things, because I get bored. You're used to this. You're used to. I don't want to be rude here, so forgive me and my poor social skills. But you're part of the gaming community. You've sat with friends hours on end. That's not what got me here. This morning, when I was listening to I'm not into music either. I'm completely uncool. Don't do football. Don't do TV. Don't watch programs. Don't like Game of Thrones. Don't like sweet fuck all. I really am a boring fuck. The point I'm trying to make is I'm trying to pretend that I am this consumer. All right, I've got my friends around me. I'm on my arse, as I've told you several times, and I've got one who's like, you know, $2,000, but he's skint, you know, big marketer. Another one in IT. Another one's getting a job. Another one who's a girl and wanking her money away. And they're just, to me, a sample of what's going on in the world. That's why I use them. So I try and pretend to be them. My brother, a surprise, bought me a Note 8 with a loan, which I'm angry about, but he was only trying to be nice and thinking about me. And we're broke, but he brought me this phone, so that'll help you with your condition. I was like, yeah, but I needed that at uni. Anyway, it's not the point. I've got it. So I thought, while I've got it, I'll try and pretend as if I was 20 grand a year, 5 days a week, seeing my mum, buying Starbucks, buying this, buying that. I spent 4 years being around those people. I remember it was crisp as anything. And you start to see the patterns, the traps. 1 of consumerism, 2 of where the money's going, 3 of how companies are manipulating our inability to stay on top, but also our inability to accept it. We'll always stay that we're in control, and I've always proven it. Like you really want to get someone's back up, go and call them a cunt. Don't even matter about the conversation. And I'm a living example of that. You are finding, in fact, what I will always be grateful for you for is that in times gone by, you'll be the guy that let me just carry on. Most people react at the cunt and then it's all over. You see, and it's that. But there's a.
If you're using it in context.
I am aware that I've lost my life by being this way, but now that I'm on board with you in this company, I can't stop being this way. I'm going to have to tell to my kid, sorry, when she grows up, I apologise, but it's for a real reason, a real heroic reason. And what I am actually is the effigy of the polarity. You know how Donald Trump is basically said to be a reflection of what everyone's really thinking?
Yes,
well, it's not. It's truth in psychology is that if you polarize someone enough, they'll always go the opposite way, which is true. Correct?
Yeah, it's like a kickback against.
So a lot of what we've got to do is shock, but we've also got to back up what we say. So if we have this mean, grinding, fast-talking company, you see where I'm going. This isn't at you, Chris. This is like in 2 or 3 months' time when we've got a bit of working, bit more congealed together. Me and you are talking like this to the outward competition. You'll have businesses wanting to have a look in, having to have a go, wanting to get involved, making us all sorts of offers, and we're just going to say no to all of it. Because I've worked out it's possibly the only thing left in 2000 or 21st century that's patentable. Everything else can be copied. If we set our rules, not in hard code, but we put our code in philosophy. We use Old English and what Shakespeareans did and what cultures did before technology. And we get our users to experience a story to navigate through. Like we do with children. Here comes the aeroplane, and they do it by association. No one would be able to copy our software because they won't be able to bloody implement it. In fact, so much so, I feel confident at one time, like Tesla has put a fucking car on his rocket. I'll give the software away. We'll open the SDK. They can do what they want, but they won't be able to copy the core effectiveness without the story, you see. I've seen it done several times. Religious texts very much are written in that way. And when I looked through your YouTube, when you're very in your connected space and you're doing your, what I would call personal identity stuff, you seem to touch on that quite well. In fact, I've found a lot of this storytelling through what I think you're going to bring to the table because of what I've seen. So start throwing in your stories, start throwing in the name references, your mythological creatures, the structure of beings, all of that stuff, because I will find a pictorial use for it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as with the thing I'm working on now, it's just more I'm learning at the same time as I'm doing. So I'm learning blueprints in Unreal Engine, which itself
is that a feature of the software?
It's just the graphical programming language that it has.
Okay.
But I still don't know in depth how it all works. How the best way to do things, most efficient way, or I don't get by. Most of the time you can get by with a Google search for.
Yeah, the same with my server, but it's not fast.
Usually get answers then. But yeah,
what happens if we start using some films to work through our storytelling? Because what you're doing is going away between calls and working at each problem iteratively, and I don't want you to be burnt out. So the best way, could we simulate the scene where Neo and whatever his name is, Morpheus, load into that white level? It'd only have to be two.
Well, you built something in Unreal Engine to do that,
you mean? Yeah, just a 2-second clip that would be 2 characters that on click 2 chairs fall down.
Yeah, what do you mean actually creating a multiplayer thing where two?
No. See, this is why I'm trying to get your head around it. You're trying to make a full game. I'm trying to get us some money. With your model, and yours isn't wrong. It's just the standard model. We wouldn't be looking for an income for at least 12 months, and even then, it's a gamble because it's a startup. With my model, every single asset is upfront and revenue ready. Right? So, right. Well, this is right. So we're getting there, and I think the only way we're going to end up fully getting my point across is by doing, not by me saying. I've tried. Trust me, mate. You're at the end of a laundry list of people over a period of 15 years, and I'm still sat here going, yeah. And before I accept I'm a mental health case, I'm going to give it one last stab, and that's what we're doing. So we're pushing through. What I'm saying to you is you don't have to do the full work, because I know that if people didn't think Google SketchUp looked shit, I could do the work. So what is it? what is going on in the brain, and I've nailed it down to magpie syndrome. People only care about what's shiny. And it's also the same with what Jordan Peterson have said about high resolution and low resolution thinking. So a cartoon, we don't decipher from a film. If it depicts a emotional or psychological or devious or between the lines moment, we still identify with it in low resolution visuals.
Yeah, because of conceptual content.
So the way to show them is this. If we, you know, those marketers that bullshit their way through life, the 2 seconds in the ad, when they go onto the website or go onto our channel, one of the videos, it zooms in and you keep seeing this guy that I keep drawing, representatively a guy on a platform, If you could just animate the steps between guy on a platform and then export that as a 3-second clip, we do 2 more of those in a week, we actually have exportable content. The project's for not done. The details are fucking nowhere near complete, but that does not matter. And the best thing is we're not actually lying. We're not cheating, and we're not shortcutting. What we're actually doing is giving small screenshots of our progress. And what you'll notice that I'm doing is paving the way for that change in culture. I said to you previously that we are no longer recording. I'm going to nick Gary Vaynerchuk's statement. We are now documenting with our time. That means everything content is time sensitive. You see, so that's my motivation to doing it. But yeah, so you've got Unreal Engine. I want to get in front of it because I know which bits I want the software to see, and I know.
I mean,
Go on.
If you get your like Mac or like half decent spec PC, run it.
Well, I've got a Surface Pro, but I'm going to need an external graphics card to go with it.
Yeah, I don't know about. I'm not sure about.
Onboard graphics suck balls.
Well, if it's decent enough, it should be right. Like I ran Unreal Engine on quite an old PC. Barely ran it, but did run. It does run. It just runs.
Did you build your computer or did you buy it pre-built?
I just bought it pre-built from Chill Blast. £1,000.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do something similar. And just...
Yeah, it's a gaming PC or like Alienware or whatever. Good gaming PC. You just need something that can run like somewhat games.
Right, so let's now this. So what other areas? So I would like it to be that lrio.uk is part of your workflow. When you go to work, you click on links, you open up regular software. What other pages could be useful while we're here? I'll spend the time drawing it. You haven't got to do the hard work. But I always imagine like a dashboard of some sort that gives some sort of progress report or some sort of contacts list about people that we've contacted, or some sort of like our own version of YouTube that has little segmented clips of our progress.
Current projects, work in progress projects. Clients, I suppose, client lists, which you can add to. Some way of tracking almost like current tickets, I suppose, or current.
Yeah, so would you want to call that a ticket system, a help desk system?
Yeah, we might even be able to get like existing.
Yeah, we work like. Let me just add. I've thought of everything at every point. I'm making you walk through this so we bind the story together. So yes, there is CMS. Yes, there's open source. Yes, I've got a PHP version and MySQL version. I've got a fucking everything. It's the same as this Unreal. Eventually, I want to try and make the game available in every platform without having to pay some developer. And I'm sure if we got the language right at the beginning.
Well, I mean, with Unreal, you can pretty much do that. I know you export it out. Obviously, you have to usually make tweaks to. I mean, like for example, if I was going to change what I've already done, make it so that it work on mobile, tablet, VR.
Yeah.
I will have to do a lot of tweaking to the blueprints because different control input systems and all the rest of it. All I'm accounting for at the minute is a keyboard, really, and a mouse.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to have to do all that at the start because I'm still working out how to do a lot of it, really.
Yeah, so could you?
In a second if you want. I can demo the newer version.
I was about to say, can we do some screenshots of this? Because I'm trying to think we need to get some scenes, something that I can get some substance over. So you said about a dashboard. Let's copy that. Copy that over. Copy, paste. So some sort of dashboard page on LRIO. And I'd like to build this up later on. So we're going to revisit this thing, yeah? And then you're going to play the game. Right, yeah. In browser, is there anything that you can? What
Yeah.
in browser options are there for Unreal projects?
Yeah, you can just output it to HTML5. Yeah, you can do that.
So
It's always a bit. I've always found it a bit buggy though. But you can do it, and you can. There will be ways to streamline, an existing content to HTML5 to help convert it, I suppose.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Past the fan.
That's fine. Okay, so yeah, let's do it your way then. Let's go and show me the game, and let's be very. Well, I'll make.
Okay, I'll just do a screen share, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm going to take screenshots. So I'm going to try and take 5 screenshots of key points. So if you can try and steer the language to those points.
I've got so many. Whoa! Feedback.
I love that. Cracks me. It reminds me of the old LED mirror.
Doctor Who, innit?
Yeah.
I've got so many windows open now.
Mate, I love it. I wish I had a machine that could fucking keep up. Mine's coughing and dying all the time, begging to be shut down.
Yeah, this is actually a beast PC for running well. I've never even had any slowdown on it. Ever.
Yeah, I bet I can see your task manager. Oh, that's my task manager.
So yeah, Unreal Engine does. If you're doing something really intensive, this does get the fan whirring though. To be fair, if I've got like something really high end, the Game Guru, which is another engine I've run, actually does really that can really crank it up sometimes. That's a less powerful engine than Unreal Engine.
But it depends on their physics that they're using, isn't it? It literally is just.
Well, Game Guru is like a kind of out of the box make a game thing without any programming engine. It's nowhere near as powerful as Unreal Engine. Anyway, I'll just boot this up. So yeah, so I've added a bit of particles, so you got an explosion.
Right. Yeah. Hang on, we'll take screenshots as it goes, 2 seconds. And then screen.
I need to work on the text, so collisions for because I changed the particle objects from like a cube to a circle.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sometimes the collision. It should come up with an edit menu now, but sometimes it seems to do it sometimes, but now.
Yeah.
Other times it just doesn't come up in a minute, so I need to work on that. So it's a bit weird. And I've done some more level building here. So I'm going to build like a fire level, I think.
Is there any way to when you make a ball, can you make 2 balls come up?
Not at the same time, but in different places.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want you to, when you hit a button, I'd want a ball to pop up where it is at the moment, and at the same time a duplicate of that ball to pop up in a room on its own, and then the next time you press a ball.
Oh, okay.
So
each ball would have its own associated space for a new level.
Each ball that you press basically gets a duplicate put into one room. So imagine as you're walking through the store and you're thinking of stuff and you're pressing nodes.
What do you mean?
Okay, so have you still got my phone stream up?
I don't know. Well, do you mean so that every time you click on one of these, it creates a new physical space you can teleport into?
No. Every time you create one of those and you give it a name, a duplicate of that very thing, the name and the ball, gets duplicated to the beginning of the level. So wherever you're walking through, you make the balls as...
What do you mean by the beginning of the level?
Well, wherever it is you start.
Yeah.
So wherever it is you start, I mean, you could wall it off, so it could be a room that you start in, or wherever your starting location is on any given level. So say this level. The starting position, a duplicate...
I don't know. What would the point of having that? So where you
because this whole game is about memory and recall. So this is what I'm trying to say. Your brain recalls in many different modes. It recalls differently when it's studying, as different when it's recording and looking for its keys. So the first one would be like when you hit the save file, you want to be able to fly through all of the points in the order that you created them. That person goes, oh yeah, then that happened, then that happened, then that happened. And then you also want a quick view And a quick view would be to go, what did I cover in this level? So if they walked into that...
I've got a move map, but the idea for that at the minute is that the idea for that is that for each instance of the nodes it's created, you can scroll through.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen that. What throughout the entire game?
Yeah, well, for the entire level you're in. So each level you'll just have a...
Yeah, no, that's pretty good, like a table of contents.
Yeah, and then you can just scroll, and then you can teleport to whichever one you want to go to.
Yeah, if you clicked it, it would then jump. Yeah, I mean, that does the same sort of thing. That's Savage, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, at the minute, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to reference each object that's being created, because this is a class of...
Yeah, I know what you're doing. You've got a class object, and then you've got a 3D model, and then you've...
The struggle I'm having at the minute is actually the incrementing the reference. Like, so, well, you know, I guess it does do that automatically, because I got it up yesterday doing it so that it gave me the exact object reference. And so it was like, you know, projectile 1, got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
The thing I was trying to do the other day was get it so that it would come up with idea 1, idea 2, idea 3, idea 4. Just by doing incrementing each that variable basically, putting it out. It doesn't seem to be working. It's not like rendering it out somehow. I don't know if it's like the render cycle or something, but not.
Well, instead of giving it a separate label, could you not get it just to display whatever object ID it's given it in the database?
Yeah, I can do that. It just looks ugly at this point. I mean, like, I can do that. I did it yesterday actually, but I'll do it now actually. Try it. Let's go to things.
I'm just trying to think for speed, but yeah, because that would give you the functionality, but you're right, it would look messy.
Conversion stuff. Doesn't matter if I just take the rest of this stuff. Just happens.
That's all right.
File works. Oh no, wait up, oh no. Let's check. That's time, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, I was trying to mess around with doing tags as well. That seems to work. What was it?
I love how that works. It looks so sick.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. It's just like, I mean, you do have to learn what all the different functions, all the different actions. There's tons and tons. There's loads of it to dive into. But I'm starting to get the hang of it now. I think you really want not just the class instead of quite intuitive as well. It's like basically just a visual program, really.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is. But I mean, I want to make an essay builder. I mean, you imagine if Word worked like that. You made body document, and then you just linked your references in, and it just put the segments in. It would be unbelievable. I mean, that's where I want to take you. If we get this off the ground and I can get you a bit of money, like I want to go back to uni, and not as in go to uni, as in sell products to the people that I know that have got thousands with simple tools like that.
I'm confusing myself now. I'll worry about that for now. I don't
It's all right.
But it does work. I got it working before, so there's a way I can do it so that it spits out the So, better can figure it out. Oh, right. That's. Just get some files and run to the work. I think by listen to blind distance.
Yeah, I can hear. There's literally was like a few frame drops.
Yeah. So open it up actually, so we can get the email. Because they've got so much stuff. There's no point doing this video.
That's all right.
But yeah, and then so we're going to build some more areas like that. Fire. I mean, maybe fire. Maybe I might change that name. I'm not sure if we'll do it. I'm not sure if doing it in an elemental way is the best way. Really. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Well, like I said, when I've got a computer, I'd like to add some help. But as far as anything else is concerned, you're coming at it from a developer's point of view. My theory is that it's going to require some other field of thinking to get around like compression issues and speed issues and polygram issues.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm going a bit crazy with the lighting and the particle effects, which I mean, it'll be fine for most systems probably. But
I mean, it'd be really great if we could start getting like some very different themes, like a light one and then a dark one. I mean, some of the dark theme stuff's definitely going to help with for some deeper material.
This is like cyberpunk one, and then there's sort of got the zero G thing, which is a bit lighter.
Do you know what your next steps are? What the next features are that you're looking for? Because we've got a portal thing that very much.
I want to get the map working. I've been trying to hack that one out for the last day or two. I mean, there's stuff in the blueprint just start to work. I want to get the edit working properly because there's no actual value to be stored yet. So I want to get that working. Basically, it's basically storing information to get working. Storing the information in the nodes, having the tracking system in the nodes to work, getting that to the point that works, and you can teleport to each one.
Yeah.
And then getting like so it comes up with like a reference and also a count as well. So nodes created. But it doesn't actually count the nodes yet. That should be quite easy to get working, but for some reason it's not been. I figured all it would be like get all of the class and then display on that text.
See, I thought I don't know I literally don't know the code from behind, but
I'll show you the UI map. That's maybe all right. So I've mapped that to mapped it to my Parrots and projectile node text value.text. So
the bit about the experiment where people remember more information if in the memorization you include walking into another room for the second half of the information, full stop. The example is remembering a long number of something like 12 digits instead of remembering the 12 digits in 2 6-digit chunks in one room, comma, you instead put the first 6 digits in the first room and physically in your mind walk into the second room for the second 6 digits, full stop. About the fact that people need to be visual. And that 3D is the missing component in everyday communication exchange. Not just for conceptualization, but speedy portrayal. Full stop. Okay. Damn it. You cunt. If we were to write a monologue of what just happened, you telling me about your ideas in this game, how would you write it? I want to try and fill out a visual document. See here.